people want to tell trans stories, but now we're able to take over that narrative and we're able to tell our stories in our own way.
In this episode, I'm sitting down with Harrison Browne, a trans pioneer in professional sports who has now made a remarkable film about his experiences playing professional hockey as an openly trans man, but also what it was like to take on this mission of both writing a book and making a film about his experiences. Harrison, it's so nice to have you here.
Great to be here.
I want to talk about a lot of things, but let's maybe start a little bit at the beginning, just in case people don't know. In 2016, you became the first openly transgender professional sports player.
I like to say professional hockey player, just in case anybody has come before that, but I do believe that it's the first professional team sports player.
And then for 2 years you played before kind of being forced to leave, because maybe people don't know this, but you cannot start to hormonally transition while you're playing a professional sport.
Yeah, so the league that I was playing in at the time was the NWHL. It's since been more morphed into the PWHL. And when I came out, they made a transgender policy, which I believe was the first transgender policy in professional team sports after I came out, which was pretty special to be part of that. But there was anti-doping protocol where I couldn't take testosterone while I was still playing.
But I mean, in the, I guess, almost 10 years, 8 years since...
It's been a long time since, yeah.
But you've made very good use of your time. You've been a really remarkable advocate for inclusion in sports for trans people. Pink Light is a short film that you made that is basically, you wrote, directed, and starred in.
Stop the play!
And it's a really wonderful, self-assured film that really speaks to your own experience, in which, like, I mean, you can get into it, but you kind of have a conversation with your pre-transition self in this film.
Yeah, it was a crazy feat to do wear all those hats, but I had an amazing team behind me, and it was a love letter to my younger pre-transition self. I really wanted to speak to that version. I think now that I'm transitioned, I'm living my life. I have a wonderful partner, and I just wish that I could have given a glimpse to like my 19-year-old self that was at frat parties, feeling really alone, feeling really unsure of what the future looked like. And this was my way to do that for myself, but also in real time for maybe an 18-year-old, maybe somebody that's struggling with it right now. So yeah, it was a labor of love for sure.
I mean, because we all kind of have this, not fantasy, but we think about the idea of talking to our former selves, and you almost kind of got to do it.
Yeah, and when we were filming it, the younger version, we cast CJ Jackson, who plays in the PWHL for the Seattle team. Okay. Yeah, and the moment that we were filming, this connection that I had with with us, like playing these characters, I felt like I was doing it. Like I did feel that catharsis. I did feel like there was something bigger there for a second, for sure.
What initially sort of made you think that you wanted to make this film? Like, what was the sort of catalyst for taking that on? Because it sounds like, at least, you know, looking at it from afar, like maybe a challenging thing to do emotionally.
Yeah. I think for me, I started as an actor before I got into filmmaking, and the kind of characters that I was seeing, it's getting better now, but I was mostly seeing a lot of two-dimensional characters that were like being barred from a bathroom or rejected from their families, or the narrative was just around them physically transitioning. So for me, I really just wanted to create something that I wish I saw when I was younger. So that was the catalyst for that. But the real inspiration was, I have like those colored lights in my bedroom, and I was sitting in my apartment having tea one night, and I looked into my bedroom and it was set to pink for some reason. And I just looked at it and I thought that it looked like the frat parties that I went to in college, like with all those crazy lights everywhere. And I just had this vision of myself looking into a light at 18, myself looking into the light this real time. And that's really what sparked this idea that I was like, that could be a really cool film.
And now, like, by being sort of a part of the filmmaking community, one thing that really does give me hope in terms of anything really is noticing how in the last 5 to 10 years, trans filmmaking by trans filmmakers has actually started to really happen in a way that trans people are doing themselves. And it's just really sort of inspiring, and I'm sure very empowering.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely can point to people that came before me to really advocate for accurate representation, whether that was an actor that was like a trans person should be playing this role, or seeing trans writers in writers' rooms now. But now we're able to take over that narrative, and we're able to tell our stories in our own way.
Because so many of us who are cis learned about the trans experience through the eyes of cis people, often very problematically, through films like Dallas Buyers Club. That wasn't even that long ago. It was like 10 years ago. So it's just really wonderful that that page is turning, and it seems like it's turning very sort of firmly and beautifully.
Yeah, definitely.
So the movie is not the only achievement you've had this year. I mean, you've had quite a few actually, but I want to focus on your book that you wrote with your sister Rachel, Let Us Play, which was released in the spring.
In May, yeah.
Okay, yeah. Just tell us a little bit about, first, your relationship with your sister and how it came that you were going to write this book.
Yeah, Rachel, my sister Rachel, also came on as an executive producer for the film too. So we had these two projects together. But it really started, so when I came out in 2016, I had a literary agent reach out about writing a memoir. And my sister's an investigative journalist, writes long form, award-winning, is amazing. But for me, I was just a hockey player at that time, and writing an entire book just felt really daunting. And I remember when I came out too, she really helped me navigate the media storm that I was going through, because she knows that world, and I was able to lean on her, and she was able to give me that guidance. And when I was talking to her about potentially writing this memoir and being like, I think I'm going to decline this, she was like, you have this opportunity to tell your story and to create more representation. Like, it's a big opportunity for you, and I will help you. And that, to me, I was like, oh, if I have somebody supporting me, especially my sibling, I think that also seeing family support a trans person is something that people looking in, it really means a lot to them. So that meant a lot to me. But then when we started writing this, so that was 2016, 2018, around that time, then the conversation around trans athletes really morphed into something different. And it really turned into a volatile rhetoric with a lot of moral panic, a lot of misunderstanding. The media was perpetuating a lot of misinformation. And that's where we thought to make it larger than just a memoir and really debunk the myths that are happening right now and get voices of a lot of different trans athletes from all over the world. We talked with trans kids, trans families from Dallas. We talked with policymakers out of UK. We talked to Olympians from all over the world. And it just became this all-encompassing book to give voices to the athletes, to the people that are most affected by what's going on all over the world right now.
I'm also curious, like, what the response has been to the book as you have been getting it out into the world.
It's been really great. I think the thing that I'm most proud of this book is it's accessible, and it's also honest. For me, I had a lot of biases myself, and I'm a trans man. Because we're conditioned to think a certain way. We're conditioned to be like, sports are broken up into male, female genders, and we haven't questioned it for a very, very, very long time. So we have to do a lot of reprogramming. It's laying it out in a way that I feel is accessible for a lot of people, but I'm just really proud of the way that we've been able to really compile stats in a digestible way that can help people open up this conversation, because it's hard to talk about. There's a lot of fear, there's a lot of unknowns, but I think that this is a really great entryway to just be able to open up the conversation and just bring trans athletes as people. That's what I was trying to do with this film too, was to just bring a trans person just to be seen as a people, just to humanize this community, because I find that storytelling is the best way to create those pathways for empathy.
Yeah, and I mean, through the book and through the movie and just through all the public speaking that you do, you are really helping create, a playbook, as it were, for not just trans athletes, but for all the people who love them, like their siblings and their parents who are, listening to all of this horrible rhetoric and as you said, like being very confused by it and trying to figure out what it all means. And it's so great that there's people out there putting themselves out there like you are and giving them a light. I also want to talk about your acting, because you've acted in quite a few things leading into making this film, Murdoch Mysteries, Nancy Drew.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to talk about sort of navigating the world of being an actor, an openly trans actor, and how that sort of compares to your experience as an athlete?
Yeah, it's crazy the amount of parallels that I've felt through acting and performance and athleticism. I thought that it was a big jump to go from a professional hockey player to an actor. I felt kind of self-conscious to tell people that I was making this career jump. But there's like this performance aspect. There's like this flow state that I thought I was going to have to give up when I stopped playing sports. Like I was going to miss that area that you enter into where you're kind of like floating around. But acting gave that to me. But I think it also helped me discover masculinity, discover myself in a deeper way, and being around in my training, being around cis men, and also myself playing cisgender characters. Like I auditioned for both trans men, and I auditioned for cisgender men. The roles that I've received, it's probably half and half what I play. So it's really great to see myself be seen in that way.
Yeah.
And it's helped me walk with more confidence, and it's helped me just gain a bigger understanding of the stereotypical masculine role, and being like, how can I bring myself to, like when I audition for like male hockey players, how can I bring myself authentically to this space, and being like, I can show up as I am. There's a lot of different types of men all over screen, a lot of different representation. So it's actually really opened up how I feel about myself and masculinity in this really beautiful way.
Well, it's so nice to hear that that experience has done that for you. And yeah, I'm so impressed by you, and I'm so happy that you're out there doing everything that you do, and I just wish you continued success in everything. But yeah, just thanks so much for being here.
No, thanks for having me.
3, 2, 1.